If you are on the TEDx journey, this is for you. If you are exploring the TEDx journey, if you are a speaker, if you are somebody that has a message that you are getting out, you've been trying to get out, and you've been on the path of TEDx, I am about to share with you, I'm about to spill the tea, get into the nitty gritty, share with you this experience and this journey I've been on for over a year. And the things that they don't tell you when you get on this journey, and also to give you some encouragement and some hope, and to remember why you're on this journey. Because it really is about recognizing that it's not about being on the journey to one particular stage, it's about being on the journey of the message that's coming through you. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jennifer. I've been posting every single day. I'm on a 100-day streak, and I think I'm at like day 32 or 33. And I am a speaker, I'm a writer, I'm a thought leader, I'm a cultural thinker. I am somebody who definitely is a bit of a late bloomer because I'm a Gen X woman who has had a very different inner awareness that was not one that I found a home to express and commune with for a lot of my life until I found a master's program in spiritual psychology, which I was not looking for, but it definitely became the beginning of a deeper understanding of myself and really what I'm here to share. And I've had a regular life like all of you. I had a really powerful, fun, amazing, challenging career. And now I've been in this path of working one-on-one, building a community, really working on building my platform and my IP so that I can find that balance of staying in that service consciousness, but also being true to myself and the message and the messages that have been wanting to come through me for a very long time that I have been really in many ways, like I know you probably have, or many women, editing them, making them palatable, meeting people where they are, so on and so forth. So let me get back to TEDx. So stay with me. I promise I'm going to share with you some details and some insight and some encouragement. So if you have not fully been on this journey or you want to get on this journey, this is the video for you. And if you're in the midst of it or you just still feel like you are not clear about all of it, I'm going to do my best to share as much as possible. Then you can always put questions down in the chat. I'm holding this stone in my hand because I just got some news and I'm literally creating this video in the midst of inspiration that's very, very present. And I'm just honoring it. I'm just honoring it. And this stone that I have is actually, it's a stone that's called labradorite, and it's the one that I love the most. And it's actually a heart shaped. And I don't know if you can see that without the lens getting a little blurry. And it's just one that reminds me of the journey, the transformation. So I joined a mastermind, and I'm not going to share the details about that right now, but I joined a mastermind, definitely fell for the pitch, very much have always wanted to do a TEDx talk, and was not looking for that path when I saw this come through. So it felt very aligned. It felt very on point. This is like literally early January of 2025. And I joined this group, and they have a great path of helping you understand what TEDx is looking for and how TEDx are essentially all volunteer run. They are, I believe you have to apply. There's a whole process if you want to create a TEDx in your city or town. And there are probably thousands of them. And so they're all volunteer led, and they can have anywhere from 6 to 15 speakers. They often are just once a year. Some of them are more robust. Their programs are more robust, and they might have salons as well as a regular TEDx event. But typically they are once a year, and all of their processes are probably slightly different, but they all get flooded with applications. So you're lucky if you get a response. Obviously, the intention is to get chosen, is to find the one where you can add your voice and your message. when I found out about this program, like I said, I wasn't looking for this. So it felt like it was a message for me to take this path. And I'm really grateful that I started this path because it helped me learn. And there was good information and insight about the journey there. There's a document that helped me really create applications. And what is not shared is that there's an average of over 86 applications that you submit before you actually get chosen. That's just really their numbers, but the point I'm sharing is that it's a journey. It's like probably anything else because I have connected with some people that are in this program who have gotten their stages and they haven't even been in the program as long as I have, but they knew somebody. They had a contact. And that's how life can work. And there are a lot of TEDx events and there are a lot of potential TEDx speakers. So it really is about learning more about the experience, the journey, what you're basically up against, and also the whole process of clarifying because the TEDx, the intention or the instruction is that it's one problem and one solution. They don't want motivational speakers. They don't want people coming on and just sharing their story. They don't want people coming and trying to sell their services. Like there's a lot of rules and some of them seem to be more strict about it than others. I've been on this journey completing applications. They did provide a list, but honestly, I've learned about so many more TEDx talks that aren't even on this list that I've had access to. And all it really is like an Excel doc with a lot of listings and it gives you links. So it makes it kind of concise and it all puts it all in one place. So that has been helpful for me. But last year, I joined this path and this mastermind. I did think it was going to be a lot more than what it was, and it was a significant investment. And it was about 4 or 5 months after my mom passed away. So, I mean, in hindsight, I had never had anyone that significant. I'd never dealt with that kind of death or grief, and there was a whole estate planning. So it was, you know, I don't look back and have much regrets about my life. So I don't look at it in that regard either. And I can see how I wasn't really grounded when I made the decision, but I also believe everything is preparing you for the next thing. So I'm very grateful that I'm on this path. I just wish I had understood a little bit more about the duration and the journey because I definitely thought that it would be something that would happen last year and it would have helped open the doors for more speaking because that's what you're hoping for from that too, is that you get to share a message. I mean, I won't speak for anybody else. My goal is that I have a viral message. Like that's my intention. At the end of the day, it's not about me and my voice. It's this message that has been coming through me for a very long time. And it's actually it's really a manifesto and a book. And that's one of the other powerful things about this is that one of the benefits of filling out a lot of applications is that you really hone and clear and clarify your message. That in that regard, it's very, very powerful. About a year and a half before I joined this, I joined a really good, really powerful group with an author and actually a viral TED speaker, not TEDx, TED, Lovey Ajayi Jones. She created something called the Book Academy, and I'm a writer, and I joined that and have an entire book proposal. But I've been holding on to my manuscript because it's really a book proposal because I really wanted to wait until I have more of a platform because I'm not interested, at least in this particular book, I'm not interested in self-publishing it. That being said, they're very much related. I knew that because they're all coming through me, but I didn't necessarily think that until I got deep into the process. Coming back to the TEDx journey. So if you know somebody, even better. I highly encourage that. They discourage you from hounding TEDx leaders because they're getting it from a lot of people. But if you know somebody that actually already did a TEDx talk and they're willing to introduce you to the team that they went to, hey, I wish I had that. I totally encourage that. And it's an application journey. So last year, when I started the process, I got really into the program. I learned all about it. I started doing the applications and I did 50 applications from, I want to say from about May to October. Now, again, I experience them as being very, very time intensive. Some people pay someone to fill them out. I don't, I'm better at it this year than I was last year. But in my mind, when you sit down to fill out these applications, very rarely are you getting an application that's exactly like the last one, where you can like cut and paste, because they have themes sometimes, or they ask a question a different way, or they want a video where you're answering this one question, or this one wants a video where you're addressing it directly to their theme, or this one wants a video that's only 2 minutes and they don't want you editing. They just want you to talk to the camera. They want to see who you really are. Like, there was something unique about almost every application. And so for me, they took me several hours. And when I heard someone say they shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes, honestly, I wanted to punch them because I thought that was so like, yeah, not cool. They do not take 5 minutes unless you are somebody that can just plug and play and you're not worried about the quality of those answers or how it could be coming across. I was completing every application wanting to pour into why they should choose me, you know? Oh, one thing I also want to mention, because of the time gap, I did make it to round 2 for I think 2 last year, and that was it. And I probably heard back from about 30% tops, and the rest I never heard back. I'm also filling out applications where there isn't a live application, because it's like they've been having consistent talks. And so we've been encouraged to still complete an application. So sometimes you're completing the same form, but you don't know when their talk is. You don't know when their scheduled date is. You don't know what their theme is. And there are a lot where you do know the details. I did 50 last year. Those were my results. I was definitely very discouraged by the end of the year. I was just like, I mean, I heard that average of 86 applications and I thought I wanted to poke my eyes out, but I got to 50 and I was like, that's it. That's it. That's all I got right now. I do believe that most people don't stay this path because it can be arduous and time intensive, and everybody has life that they're living. So if you're on this path, I wanted to be really real and share with you, but I also want to encourage you. And I'm going to wrap it up after I share a few more details by speaking a little bit more about the message piece and what that journey looks like for most of us, right? Especially if you are a woman, and especially if you are a woman of color, if you're a mixed race woman, that's where I'm always coming from. I'm a mixed race Mexican American woman. I have a Mexican father and I had a white mother, and I was raised primarily by my mother. I wasn't as exposed to my Mexican culture growing up, but I always identified as Mexican. I had a relationship with my dad, not as close as I would have liked, but the world saw me as that. I was not seen as a white kid. I think to some of my white friends I might have, but I did not experience that. I experienced life being more challenging and not having people really understand me. So I say all that to say, because that is real. And every journey will be a little bit different when you are in the kind of other category. And I'm not going to get down that path, but I do feel like that also creates a tenacity. So coming back to TEDx, this year, because of my results last year, I decided to shift a little bit my talk. And because when you get to a place where you're like one problem, one solution, and if you're someone like me where you are a thought leader and you're a cultural thinker and you have basically a mission, there's different ways that you could share it. There's different ways that you could talk about it. And it is, it's not just one thing, but for TEDx, it's one problem, one solution. So that does make you get very narrow, and that's really, really important. And that piece in itself, it can be quite challenging to do, but it's part of the process. So I decided to change the title of my talk. And again, that could change once you get down the process with them, but you are submitting a proposed title. So I changed my title and I changed slightly the way that I was approaching it, because I was reflecting on perhaps maybe why I wasn't successful, which might not have been accurate at all, but I was just trusting my gut. And I thought, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. And I did. And then I started applying again this year. Now, I will say that I wish I had started my TEDx applications in this year in February, or even earlier, because there's plenty of, or even last fall, to be honest, because there are plenty of early part of the year talks that I missed totally. And so my offering was more narrow than I would have liked. So far between end of March and all of April, I finished creating and into May 21 applications. And I have about 10 more that are like I have a list that I'm working on. And my intention is to complete 100 applications until I land my talk, or I should say but I'm going to go for another 50 this year. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm just probably going to let it go for a while and let it breathe. I'm believing it's going to happen. When I joined this mastermind, I came into the program with a clear message, with a mission and a conviction of something that I do believe is something I want to share worldwide. And I do believe it could change humanity. I'm 21 applications in. Today, I've gotten 5 rejections already from the ones I've already submitted, which is not great news, but it's also great to know. And I've applied, let me tell you the ones that I actually got turned down from, just to give you the range. So one of them was Rancho Mirage, which is in Southern California. I'm in California. I'm in Los Angeles. Another one was TEDx Ocala, and I'm not remembering in this moment where they're located. I feel like it's Florida, but I don't think that's it. And I'm blanking on another 2, but one of them is TEDx Amsterdam. I applied to TEDx Amsterdam. That would have been very cool. The one that I got today was you made it to the second round. And it's going to be interesting. If you're still listening, this is going to be interesting because I honestly obviously, I don't know if I'm going to be selected, and there's a catch. So I received an invitation in a response today for TEDx Kew, which is just outside of Melbourne, Australia. Yep. And I was really excited. I actually have a dear friend who loves Australia, and I always thought, like, if I get invited to a place in Australia, I will get her to come with me. So I made it to round 2. I have to submit a 300 to 500 word outline of my talk and answer some specific questions. And I actually haven't written my full talk because I got the impression that sometimes you have to shift your talk for them. And honestly, I've just been so focused on the process that I haven't. And then I slightly switched it. So I have the bulk of my talk. I just haven't written it out word for word. This response is the kick that it's like, Jennifer, get that done, just so I know it's done. So here's the thing. I have until the 10th, so like 5 or 6 days to respond to them. And then they are going to give us 10 days before they let us know if we made it to the final. Their event right now is listed as June 26th of this year. So, I mean, I'm open to miracles and I'm going to walk the path. I just don't know how, with 6 days notice, I'm going to be able to get on an airplane to Melbourne, Australia. And this is the TEDx journey. So what I want to share, and hopefully you received and heard some of that in my openness and my honesty and my enthusiasm, that this is it. Like this is how it can unfold. I'm receiving this as like a little glimmer of support. I'm receiving this as like, thank you, God. I'm receiving this as a keep going, Jennifer. I'm receiving this no matter what happens as someone is saying yes. Someone is saying, we want to hear more about this. And the reason why well, first of all, that's just in practical terms, that's encouraging. And for someone like myself who's had a message and a way of being and a way of talking and a way of just communicating, and just the things that I've been drawn to and interested in this have not been typical, have not been the only people that I even really know that are aligned with kind of how I relate with the world are people that I met in my master's program or people from my church. Otherwise, I don't have a lot of friends that are like me, that think like me, that care about the things that I care about. And my path was not typical. I did not get to have kids and a family. I clearly believe I'm here for this work and for this message that has taken me longer than I would have liked to really focus on it. And I think that had everything to do with the fact that I'm a woman, I'm a mixed race woman, and I had to overcome a lot of programming that we all have. So, not to victimize myself, but I do think that is very real. And it's something that I actually do talk about. It's something that I work one on one with women and leaders with because it is real. That being said, I know that there is something here. And for often, because of all I just shared with you, I have felt rejected a lot throughout my entire life because of just the way that I think. I just haven't always related to kids and young people my age. And now, obviously, I'm an adult and I don't need that as much because I'm much more comfortable in my skin, but I'm still human. And then when you put yourself out there like this, it's really vulnerable. It takes a lot of guts. So if you are on this path, I just give you so much love and so much encouragement. And I acknowledge you because it's part of the hero Shiro's journey. Let me wrap it up by saying that, and hopefully that was enough preamble. If you have a message, if you have something that you know you are here to bring forward, I believe we all have gifts and messages that are coming through our existence. I do not believe I'm special. I believe we all have that. We are all though living in a world that doesn't really encourage that. It discourages it in many ways. It makes us think it's superfluous and it's just, it's not how you make money or whatever. And I believe it is essential, especially to living a life where you can feel good, you can feel at peace, you can put your head on the pillow at night and know that you did everything that you possibly could to honor your life and yourself, because that's the only thing you have dominion and leadership over is your life. So if you have a message, if you are a speaker, if you are somebody that wants to speak, if you are somebody that wants to get on the TEDx path, I encourage you not to waste any more time, not to wait any more time. Just start learning more. Or if you're on the journey and hopefully this was some validation for you. Hopefully this is some insight for you. Feel free to drop me some questions. I'm happy to answer anything I possibly can because I am not a gatekeeper and I am not interested in, what do you call it, bogarting anything. I think that there's enough for everyone, but it doesn't always feel that way because it's challenging and it does require a lot of tenacity. And if you are somebody that knows you have a mission, then you have tenacity. So this is your message of encouragement, and you found this at the exact right time. I appreciate you listening. And yeah, I think that's it. But one thing I will share, if you can see this, is I'm going to start selling some hats, but this is one that I don't know if you can see it. It says, Heal Your Part, which is also the name of my podcast. And it's the heart of my manifesto. It's not the name of my talk. It's not even actually what I'm going to say in my talk, but it's all connected. And essentially, I'll just say briefly, it's that we all come here to learn, and we learn through healing, and we all have stuff to heal. And it is my experience and what I've witnessed in every discipline: tech, fashion, healthcare, academia, and just being a 54-year-old woman, we are a society of unhealed people because we have not been taught these things, because we have not made it part of how we live, like brushing your teeth. We have not equipped people in understanding how their inner operating system works. There's so much there. And as a result of that, we have these people, these same people, creating the world, designing the world, building the world from these places where there's a lack of consciousness and healing that is inside every single human being. And I am interested in sharing that message in various ways to anyone who is leaning into that. I'm not interested in convincing anybody. I'm not an evangelist. I think we're all on our journey, and I'm very respectful of that. And I also know there are a lot of people suffering and in pain right now and or not living their greatest expression. And I'm all about changing that. So more to come. If you're new to me, my name is Jennifer, and I am here every day to remind you that your truth is your power. So trust yourself and watch your life transform. I'll see you tomorrow.